Welcome to the Mile High Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Daniel Knowles. Thank you for joining us from whatever altitude you are at. We are at 5,280 feet plus Mile High territory, where we look forward to seeing you in June. Yes, in June. Mile High comes early this year. And I am super thrilled to be on this podcast with two stellar women doctors of chiropractic at different altitudes. Actually, one is in Colorado and one in Florida right now. Dr. Roxanne Wagner, who practices in Lakewood with her husband and has been in Colorado impacting chiropractic for the positive, as well as Dr. Michelle Wendling, who was in Colorado, but now is in the moment, at the moment, in an RV in Florida. And she's the current president of the Women Doctors of Chiropractic Organization, WDC, which is a nonprofit dedicated to creating a worldwide community that supports, empowers, and connects women chiropractors. And we're going to be talking about that quite a bit. And she had a cash practice in Denver and served on the Colorado Chiropractic Board, graduated from Life West. Dr. Roxanne Wagner graduated from Palmer, Florida. And we're going to be talking about the WDC and chiropractic and Mile High, as well as traveling in an RV. So thank you for joining us today, Dr. Roxanne and Dr. Michelle.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Yeah, this is fun.
We're going to have fun. So first of all, could we each share, get to have everybody get to know you a little bit by sharing a little bit about your pathway to finding your way into the chiropractic world? So Roxanne, Dr. Roxanne, how did you find your way into chiropractic?
Yeah, so I actually started going to a chiropractor at 3 months old. So
Wow.
It's been a lifelong experience for me. My parents are definitely more on the holistic alternative side of medicine and all kinds of things. And so chiropractic had been my life. I had 3 different chiropractors and I went to them for different things. One did AK and more kind of supplements. The other one did more just adjusting, and one did kind of sports and all different stuff. So my family saw all 3 of them my whole life growing up. And I had scoliosis, and that was kind of, I worked with them during my teen years to really correct that completely, and was just amazed at my experience with chiropractic. And so my chiropractor at the time said, well, they just opened a school down in Florida. You should just go drive down there and check it out. So I drove down, did a tour by myself at 15 and said, okay, this is what I'm going to do for my life. And very happy with that choice.
Wow. And it's so interesting. I always love meeting someone who's had chiropractic care longer than I have, because I was 13 years too late. So that's very exciting. And also I always love hearing how people find their way into the chiropractic world. What about you, Dr. Michelle?
So my path was a little bit different. I started early on when I was 5 years old. My dad loves to tell this story. We were sitting around and, the 5-year-olds were saying, I want to be a fireman. I want to be a fisherman. I want to be a police officer, whatever. And I said, I want to make people feel good. And my dad always loves that story. So it took me to massage therapy. I started doing massage when I was 15 years old. And then I became a personal trainer. And then I worked in physical therapy. And then I was like, this is not it. This is not it. What is it? And then I met the most amazing chiropractor, Dr. Kep, up in Fort Collins. And he was so happy to go to work every day. And I was like, what's going on? What is this? And he loved going to work. And I was like, chiropractic is it. If you love going to work every single day and you're changing people's lives, that's for me. So that's what I did.
Wow. Well, that's also super exciting. Now, here's the interesting thing. How did you both get to know, not that that wasn't interesting, but even more interesting, how did you get to know each other? Because this ties into our topic for the day.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Roxy actually started a group called, is that how we met, through that exact?
Yeah,
group?
I didn't start it, but I took over the meeting aspect of it. Yeah.
Okay. So I was running the Colorado Women's Chiropractic Association, but it wasn't as active as I wanted it to be. And so I was curious if there were other groups out there. And I found Roxy's group, which is Chiro Boss Ladies. And it's got the woman with the, you can do it,
Rosie Riveter. Yes.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, oh, these women have got to be for me. And I reached out, and they have events going now and then. And Roxy and I met at one of these events and instantaneously fell in love with each other like sisters do. And here we are moving forward.
Wow. And so then this is an important thing. People, I find in chiropractic overall, people have to find their community. People have to find who they get connected with. Because so often you feel alone, feel separate, feel like you have to be this business owner that's this just Lone Ranger. And that may work short period, but it also gets old really quick. And it also feels very lonely as compared to having a tribe of people that you connect with and have shared values. I personally find my experiences, I hear that also even more so from women, and that they have a different experience that even creates more of a need to, or more value or appreciation for them getting connected and bonding. Can you share a little bit about the importance of that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Women, we connect best when we can talk, see each other, and touch and feel. We are, I think that's why we're designed to be chiropractors. That's why so many women are rushing into the chiropractic field, because there's a kinesiology side of it. There's touch, there's feel, there's connection with all the other humans. And a lot of times in practice, you feel like you're reinventing the wheel. You're all by yourself. You have to make all the decisions on your own. And women do a great job of supporting each other by, saying out loud what they need, but only if you can find that group of women that works like that. And so I noticed that when I started my practice, that was 15 years ago in Denver, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have anybody. And so I started looking, and I joined associations, and I joined other groups and other things, but there wasn't a lot of that until I found women who wanted to connect that way. And then, nothing against men, it's just women connect so differently, and we connect at a deeper level. And then when you have that support, you're able to take more risks. You're able to dream bigger and have the sisters to back you up. So I don't know, Rox, what's your thought on that?
Yeah, for me, when I moved to Denver, and my husband and I had just graduated from chiropractic school and didn't know anybody, and just hung up a shingle and got started. And in school, they really kind of freak you out about,
Everything.
everything, but that everyone's going to be so competitive, and no one's going to want to let you in and kind of talk to you, and oh, don't even talk to the chiropractor down the street, like they're going to think you're competition. And they really harp on this in school, and it was the complete opposite experience for me. I found this group of women really within the first month of opening my business, and it was just like such a great sharing group of not only kind of sharing resources, but also sharing patients. Hey, I'm not great at this. Can you go ahead and take this person? And this group has still been going and growing for 6 years, and it's pretty exciting to watch. We do monthly happy hours where we get together, and then we do every couple of months, we'll do technique classes and kind of go to each other's offices and all sort of learn things that other people are doing that maybe you're not doing in your own office. So it's really exciting to just get to kind of learn from each other.
That is a lot of fun. And again, and people find community in different places and in different ways in life in general, but I feel chiropractors have a certain need for it, because we so see the world through a different lens than so much of the world, that becomes even more valuable to all of us, or more appreciated in many ways. And I know also my mom was a single mom going through chiropractic school, and then getting out of school. It was quite the experience to watch. So I think women chiropractors is a very special journey. Tell us a little bit about the WDC.
Absolutely. So Women Chiropractors is a nonprofit. The nonprofit part of it was founded 5 years ago. So our 5-year anniversary. And I joined Women Chiropractors a couple years back But then I got invited to be on the board a year and a half ago, and I've been working on the board and now president of the board and such. But essentially what Women Chiropractors does is, and a lot of it's because of Roxy and meeting her and the women in Colorado that I took this path, because what they do, the goal is just to connect women and empower women and give them whatever support and tools they need in order to find whatever level of success is right for them. So it doesn't matter if they want to work 1 day a week, they want to work 100 days a week. It doesn't matter. Like, the goal is just to uplift and support women. And the cool part about WDC that's different from a lot of other organizations is that we support women who are chiropractors rather than chiropractors who are women. So the woman part comes first. So we do a lot of things that enhance the female's life, like, let's talk about how to have healthy boundaries. Let's talk about how it is you can invest in your future as a woman, how you can balance all the kiddos and the husband and all the things and still have an amazing, successful practice, rather than build your practice. Yeah, that life stuff will come later. We focus on the life stuff first, because that's really when we see patients, that's what we want to see in them. We want to see their lives enhanced, their lives grow, and their dreams come true. And so Women Chiropractors designed to help chiropractors who are women do that as well, which is it's just really, really fantastic. And if it wasn't for meeting Roxy and hanging out with all of those women, I don't think I'd be where I am. So I'm forever grateful for you, Roxy. You're just a light in my life, for sure.
Well,
Grateful for you too.
People need more lights in their life, especially that have shared experiences and shared values. And as I said, so often chiropractors have different values than many in their community, and they have to, build a bridge with that or find their tribe. What kind of things does the Women Chiropractors organization do?
So we do a bunch of different things. We have a program a lot of people have now heard of called Reentry, which helps women who've gotten out of practice for whatever reason. They had children, they moved, who knows, whatever, and are struggling to get back into practice or want the steps to get back into practice. And we actually mentor them for free for 6 months. They get a coaching call every single week for free. And that's all done with the volunteers and with the sponsors that support us. They provide speakers and such so that we can help these women slowly shift back into practice. Because again, we need more chiropractors, not less chiropractors, right? We need more, especially amazing, gifted chiropractors. And so that's one of the things we do. We also do local connect events, and that spawned, partially they were already doing it before I got on the board, but it was really, really enhanced because of my experience with Roxy again, because it was like, well, heck yeah, I want to have a happy hour scheduled with my girlfriends that are chiropractors, and heck yeah, I want to hang out with them and have a business write-off, like all that stuff, right? You want that stuff. Right, that's the fun stuff. And so what we're doing is local events all over, because what we found is not everyone has what we have in Colorado. Not everybody has that. It's actually really rare. And so we're doing a connect so that everyone can meet, and then hopefully they'll continue it and take it on and really have that network of amazing women locally, not just globally. So that's another big piece that we're doing. And of course, we also advocate for Women on Stage, which Mile High, holy mackerel, you guys are amazing at getting women on stage and really, really picking some superstars to get up there. So super applause for that. Super excited to hear all the speakers you guys have coming up.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
We've been conscious, very aware of that from the first time we had the program. It's really funny. Someone said, I don't need to say who, but someone said relative to a different program, said, oh, well, it was kind of actually insulting. They said, well, women aren't going to bring it on stage. I was like, what is that about? That doesn't mean, that's one, it's derogatory, and one, it's just not right. I mean, women are phenomenal healers and phenomenally gifted, phenomenally knowledgeable. It's such a gift to have the profession shift that tilt to more 50-50 than when my wife was in school, and she said it was like 20% of the school was female as compared to now. So it's a very important thing to be reflected in our memberships, our organizations, and on stages, in mentoring. I actually, when I was putting on the art program, I stumbled that, oh wow, I didn't realize that of the technique teachers, so many of them were male. And I was like making a list of the technique teachers, like, oh, wait a second, like 90% of these are male. And I hadn't realized in terms of that little section of the profession of that. So it's a really important thing to shift. So I'm glad that you noticed the awareness and the intentionality around that. So it's important for the profession to shift that. So
It is.
really good. And time, more than time. So now, Michelle, you've had an interesting journey as a chiropractor. In fact, you're on a journey right now. I see there's an RV and you've got boats behind you. Tell us about this new journey that you're on.
Absolutely. So my husband and I planned this if anybody knows me, I'm a planner. Like I have my life planned out. And of course, things don't always work out how you plan them, but I plan everything. And so my husband and I planned this trip because he shared this dream with me. And he was like, I'd love to live in an RV and travel the United States and go from place to place and work. But when you wake up in the morning, you wake up where you want to go to vacation, not have to go to vacation. And so you can work from vacation. So that was all in the design. So building up my practice and all the things was wonderful. It was the hardest thing in the world to leave practice. However, you can't do brick and mortar and do this lifestyle. So I had to sell my practice to do that, but I sold it to someone with the biggest heart on the planet and amazing hands. So all the things, we're all good there. Fourth generation chiropractor, I think she is. So she's like amazing. Yeah, you should interview her too. She's amazing. But anyway, yeah, so here we are traveling the country and just having a really, really great time. And I work for the board a lot because there's a lot of work when you're a volunteer board of 9 people, running a large membership of 10,000 people. But that takes up a lot of time. And then I also coach chiropractors, and that's fun too. But mostly my priorities, and I think I told you this early on, Danny, my priorities are my family and my trip. And then everything else comes second because I'm a woman first and a chiropractor second.
Well, as we should all have those priorities so well aligned and stacked. And sometimes those get out of balance. And we've all experienced that to varying degrees in our lives. And then there's that thing that people say as chiropractors, slipping and checking and realizing we have to make changes so that things are more well, pun intended, aligned. So, right. And then, reentry, I hadn't even thought of that because I have a male brain. I haven't thought of that as something as things for helping female chiropractors. Can you tell more about that program?
Yeah, so it's an application program and women apply. Right now we have 45 women in our reentry program right now as we speak. So huge impact on the profession to relaunch 45 women into our profession. And some of them are in practice and struggling. Some of them have gotten out of practice and are looking to get back in. But they come from all walks of life. Some want to be mobile chiropractors, some want to work out of their home and still have 8 children and all the things running around while they're adjusting, and so the cool part is we listen to their dream and their vision, and then we help build those steps to get them there. And everybody who teaches on all of those calls is all volunteer. They're just giving of their time and talent and just sharing because we love this profession. It's our favorite thing, right? If you ask any of us, favorite things, probably husband, wife might rate a little bit higher, but then chiropractic's like right there. At least that's how it is in my life. So, if you can help someone else realize their dream and be at least effective at because not one of them struggles with adjusting. Not one of them struggles with the love of caring for patients. It's all the other stuff that they're struggling with. And so when you can help give them the tools to take care of that, it's a lovely thing.
And it becomes such a calling and such a purpose for so many chiropractors that, when something fills your heart that much, it's easy to have to navigate those priorities, and the world is more complex than it was 50 years ago, by far, even than 20 years ago. So there's more to navigate as couples, as men, as women, and business owners, as technology has advanced and so on. What do you think are some things that are really important for women as chiropractors to help them thrive?
Roxy, you want to take that?
Sure. So I think some of the things that are really helpful for women is kind of that empowerment aspect of feeling good enough and feeling like you are just as awesome and just as good at adjusting, and knowing that every single person has their own kind of special thing that makes them special. And I mean, because of my experience with going to chiropractors my whole life, when patients call and they're like, well, I kind of want to come by and meet you. I'm like, I totally get that, because this is about a relationship experience, and that you have to trust me and like me to get my care. And so I think having women find that confidence in themselves, that it's not about being this, super powerful adjuster that you have to be. You can be, but if you're a little gentler, those people are out there. And it's really about just finding your people that really respect what you do and love you for you.
So well said.
You hit the nail on the head, because that relationship is the piece, right? Recognizing that when someone meets you, they will fall in love with you. And when they fall in love with you, they're not going anywhere else. And then you can truly, truly care for them from the deep part of your soul that you want to care for them from. And I think that's the piece that women don't always get. They sometimes feel like there's a different bar they need to reach. And I think the mindset is it. You nailed it. Exactly.
And so how do people get more plugged into the WDC?
Well, we have a lot of different things you can do. You can certainly come to the live events. You can find us on womenchiropractors.org, because it's .org because we are a nonprofit. And then you can become a member, and then there's different levels of membership that help you give back to the community and help us do what we're doing, help us fund the Reentry Program, help us fund all the events, all the events are always free. And so, help us fund all of those. You come to our big convention we do every other year, which is not free, because that costs money to have a hotel, as you know, with Mile High. It can get up there. So that's probably the best way. You can certainly join our Facebook group, and it's Women Chiropractors Facebook group. And that's, we have 10,000 members interacting every day. We have about 25,000 interactions a day, I think, on our Facebook page. So it's a lot. It's a little nutso, but you can come and post x-rays and have questions and get support and get loved on, all the things. And that, that's why we're here. We're here to serve. So that's how.
Well, and that's beautiful. And it's really good to see that kind of community, camaraderie, collaboration, connection to flourish. And that's something that we need as a profession. So now I'm pretty sure we're having some kind of WDC gathering during Mile High, which will also be super exciting. I don't know all the details are ironed out, but I know that there'll be a lot of you there and you'll be excited to connect, and there'll be some kind of bringing that together. And Michelle, you're going to be sharing at Mile High, which is also awesome. And other WDC people, members are too. So it's going to be quite the gathering. Do you have any recommendations for new grads, female new grads, in terms of where they start? How is it different? How do they feel more confident about getting started?
Roxy already touched on this, but I think finding your tribe is first and foremost. And I think when you plug into a big national umbrella like WDC, that helps. But then you need to dive in a little bit and ask the questions like, who's in Nashville? Who's near me? Right? Who's in this small little town in the middle of Texas? Who's there? Because we have so many members, they're there. Right. So you're going to be able to find your tribe. And if you don't, what we can do is we can invent a tribe for you. So that's probably the first piece, because once you plug in, then you've got people that you trust to ask questions. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You're not all by yourself. You can still go out and have happy hour or coffee or whatever and really, really connect with those women. So that's probably first and foremost. And then, there's everyone's going to tell you keep your overhead low and all those kinds of things too, right? But really, if you find your tribe, you'll find that information.
I've also found that connecting with women in other professions has been really nice, because in general, women usually feel like the lesser of most professions. So I've met with some like female PI attorneys. I do a lot of auto injury at my office. And so, it's been pretty cool. They're like, man, I never meet a female chiropractor. And I'm like, well, I rarely meet a female attorney that's this big either. So it's kind of exciting to kind of branch out and make those connections even across other professions. And that can really boost your practice, especially when you're first starting.
Oh, that's so well said, and something really to be insightful for, especially collaborating with other female-owned businesses in your community, which people often, unfortunately, overlook. That connection as an opportunity as a new chiropractor in a town. So, hey, let me ask you this. I know we both talked before the podcast and in other conversations about you being excited about Mile High. Where are you both excited about Mile High in 2022?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I love the theme. You nailed it with the Matrix. It's so perfect. Just the whole concept around it is it's just going to be absolutely phenomenal. And we may actually have a skit that might involve you, Danny. So we'll keep you posted on that as well. We're not going to say much, but we'll reach out and do some stuff there. But the people that you attract is amazing, and the energy that I hear from every single time there's been a Mile High event, the flow of energy throughout the whole Front Range is just lovely. So I'm super excited.
That's cool.
It's really cool. It is, like, I mean, Roxy could tell you the same thing. It's really cool because we hear about it, we know about it. And yeah, I'm just really, really excited. Plus some of my very favorite people are going to be there. So I'm excited to hug everybody. So.
And not to keep like beating the same topic, but you've created such a tribe, and that's I think what everyone is also really looking forward to. Like Michelle said, getting to see those same people that they look forward to seeing every year and really make that reconnection with people.
I have to say that when I first put together the program, I really did it because I wanted to make a difference in Colorado chiropractic specifically, and the tone of chiropractic in Colorado. And I thought I really had a high bar in my brain about who spoke. And then I realized, though that's important to have incredible speakers and incredible content, so you don't just have a rah-rah festival. What I realized was what you said, Roxy, was if you don't mind me calling you Roxy.
No, yeah, that's fine.
Which was that people really love the connection and the community, and that they actually valued that even more. It was the time to rub elbows and to have conversations. And I did not know that prior to putting on an event, and I realized how much people value that.
And most events overlook that, so it's lovely that you don't.
Well, and it was something I learned, and I think it's important for people to know that. That's why people are growing, going to retreats and things like that, and why people like doing the WDC pop-ups and things like that. Because, look, we're a culture that's information overloaded and community deprived. So that's, connection community is vital, especially when you're a profession about healing and about connection and communication and collaboration. That's the essence of our values as a healing art. So then we're attracted to that as a profession because it fuels us. So we need it in our lives as well, because we're doing that with people's bodies and their capacity to heal. Is there any last thing you'd like to mention to our listeners, male and female, in terms of chiropractic, health, well-being, and the WDC?
I would say make sure you get your butts to Mile High, because you have to get CEs and you have to get documentation. And I will tell you, nobody does it like Roxy and I do. So it's
going to
really
make it fun.
It is actually fun documentation. It's so weird, but it can be fun, and it can work for your practice rather than against you. And it can be a beautiful thing. So that part's going to be fun. And then, reach out, connect with other women, hold hands with us, and let's walk this walk together, because we're so much stronger together.
Outstanding. We look forward to seeing you. You're not driving the RV, to Colorado. You're flying.
My husband's going to stay in Nashville partying while I'm working, but
well, you never know.
okay.
I might decide to drive an RV to Nashville to visit. So at some time after that. So, but we're really grateful to have both of you, teaching this year and being part of Mile High, and as well as the WGC being involved, as well as all the speakers. And thank you so much for all you're doing to help inspire and lead chiropractors around the world. And we look forward to seeing everybody rise up to Mile High. And it's easy to remember that, riseuptomilehigh.com, and reserve your seats for yourself, your team. Always bring your team to events for sure. And June 2nd to 5th, keep changing spines, lives, and minds with chiropractic.